somebody higher up will decide.
The Tornadoes carry unique weapons, 2 huge bombs that destroy enemy air bases by cratering concrete runways. So the professional military view here is that if war does come, such as Allied air superiority, control of the skies would be established in a matter of hours. If that assessment is correct, the destruction of Iraqi tanks would amount to a massacre. These men dismiss reports that Iraq has a number of secret underground air bases. They say they know where all the targets are. They reckon Iraq doesn't match up to their previous potential opponents, the Warsaw Pact forces. Brian Barron, BBC News, Bahrain.
Can talk about, or is it something which people prefer to?
I think it's the back of everybody's mind. It's our job. We train to do it, and we do it as professionally as we can.
Flying as little as 100 feet above the desert will keep the aircraft in the blind spots of enemy radar. The crews must try to steer clear of other aircraft. Their priority is to deliver tons of high explosive onto an Iraqi target. The training sortie complete, the aircraft return to their sanctuary in Bahrain. Hanging over the squadrons is the knowledge that some crews might not return from a real operation. The crisis has reminded pilots and ground crew alike of the risks involved.
If you were given the chance to fly one instead of putting the armaments on, what would be your view? Which is the better place to be?
I think I'd rather be on the ground, basically. It's a very daunting fact to think you're going to go and have to fly that aircraft across the desert. You know, fight a war. I think it's safer down here than it is up there.
The fact that you do know the guys very well, of course, makes it a little bit difficult. And of course, it's all personal. I can imagine the worst time for me will be waiting for them to come back from that first raid, counting them up, hopefully counting them all back in again.
Is there anything you can do to prepare yourself for that?
Well, I don't think so, any more than to keep busy and to have every confidence that we've given them the best equipment, the best training, and on the day, the best intelligence to allow them to get through and come back.
As night falls, more aircraft prepare to set off for low-level training missions. Few of the crews are under any illusions about the dangers involved in flying a real sortie.
Obviously, we're quite confident we can do an effective job. We understand the risks, but you've got to accept that when you're going to go to war.
Do you have an image of them as people? I mean, do you think about them being your age or your...
I tend not to be honest. I think much more in terms of hardware. It's an aeroplane, it's a tank, it's a headquarters site, rather than people. I don't think we know enough about them. I don't think you can afford to some extent. It's probably more impersonal that way, and that probably makes it a little bit harder if you need to be.
If you were on a mission, an attack mission, you really want to avoid other aircraft, don't you?
Absolutely. That's right, yeah.
But if you do encounter them, what would you do?
Run away. That really is, it's the best option that we can think of. We've also got various systems that we can use for attacking other aircraft, but it's a bit of a last-ditch effort. We'd like to just avoid them.
You're really, in your mission, self-preservation is the key.
Oh yes, that's right.
The men who fly Tornadoes have little more idea than the rest of us of whether their lethal skills will be required. The war or no war debate goes on here just as it does in Britain. The position of the government in Saudi Arabia, just across the water from Bahrain, is critical. And in particular, it's the attitude of the royal family there which will be a key determinant in future Allied strategy.